Hello guys, my name is Pablo. I'm the founder of Zenva. Welcome to this course on WordPress plugin development for beginners. WordPress is by far the most popular content management system in the world. About 22% of all websites on the internet are powered by WordPress. About 100,000 new sites are created daily that use WordPress. So it's definitely a platform, a technology that's worth getting into for your own sites, for your client sites, if you want to distribute plugins to the entire WordPress community. And now, what are plugins? Well, plugins are basically pieces of functionality, like superpowers for your website, that can be created in a modular way so that they're easy to distribute, easy to install, to uninstall. Their main advantage is that they don't modify WordPress core code. So you can access WordPress functionality by using a very complete API without having to alter the code of WordPress. That allows you to distribute them so that different people can install them, and it's not going to affect their current WordPress install. Things you need to know to follow through this course are you need to have some basic knowledge of HTML, JavaScript, and CSS for the client side. And on the server side, you need to be familiar with PHP and MySQL. WordPress is built entirely in PHP. Um, you will need a development environment so that you can run the examples and get started with your own projects. So you need to have access to, it can be a local, in a local server or a remote server, install of WordPress. You need to have writing permissions in this install so that you can create files, modify files, delete folders, etc. Um, the official WordPress site provides clear instructions on how to install WordPress in different platforms. I'm not going to go through those steps in the course because you could be using Linux or Windows and Mac, and there's just a lot of configurations that you could be using. But if you follow through the instructions, it's pretty clear. It's very well explained what to do and how to install it. You will need a code editor, a program to edit your code that will highlight syntax, hopefully have auto completion. The one I like to use is called NetBeans. It's open source, it's free, but there are other really good code editors such as Eclipse, Sublime. You can use Vim if you're more of a console Linux person, or you can simply use any text editor. Ideally, because we're working with MySQL databases, you might want to install something that allows you to manage those databases visually so that you can browse through each table in a quick way without having to type queries for all of these actions. So I recommend installing PHP as well. The methodology that I recommend you to follow to get the most out of this course is the following. You download the chapter code, you view the chapter videos, and then you play with the code afterwards. You can also play with the code during the videos if you want. And when I say play, I don't mean just run the examples. I mean modify them, trying different things, changing stuff that I did in the examples, because that will definitely enhance your learning experience. I also recommend you to read all online documentation that you can on the topics that we've seen, because this course is not an exhaustive API reference. That's what the documentation is for. This course is a project-based, example-based, so we're not going to cover every single parameter, every single method of every single class. I recommend you to explore related topics as well for the same reason. Ask for help if you need, help others as well. There's you can ask questions in the course, and there's also the official forums. And when you're done with that, move on to the next chapter. Now, what works best for me when I'm taking a course or reading a book or learning something new is to have my own project going on in parallel and to apply all the things I'm learning into my own project. So I recommend you do the same. If you have any idea for a plugin, you can get started with it from chapter 1 and just add stuff as we see it or as you learn it online. You'll be your learning will be growing along with this project. Where to get help? There's the official forums in WordPress. wordpress.org/support. They have sub-forums for installation in case you get stuck in there. There's also one called plugins and hacks where you can discuss all these topics about plugins. And you can also ask questions to the instructor, to me as well. Hopefully stuff that's related to the lecture content, because otherwise it might be a bit too broad for the course. And I wanted to show you this figure. It's called the learning pyramid. So when you buy a book, if you just read a book on WordPress development, you will probably, your learning retention will be about a 10% on average. I'm not saying that you'll only retain 10% of what you read. This is on average. If you just watch like only presentations, you're gonna get here 20%. Now, the good thing about doing a video course and a video course by Zenva, our company, is that all of our courses are created on a by example basis. So we always start from scratch and build on our examples. So at the worst thing you can get will be about 30%, but then you can up to multiply by up to 3 times that amount of learning retention by your own initiative. So there's this discussion that I was saying. Practice by doing, do your own projects, play with the code examples, modify them, and then if you want to reach the top, you can teach others. You can respond questions that you find either in the course or in the official forums. When you start responding questions in the forums or teaching others, is really when your learning is really consolidated. And of course, practice by doing is really a must. So let's get started. Go set up your development environment, install PHP or WAMP if you're using Windows, or if you're doing this in a remote server. Get it all up and running, install WordPress, follow the instructions on the official site, and go to the next lesson once you have WordPress up and running and you're ready to run the first examples. And just before saying goodbye, we have other courses that might be of your interest as well. We have courses on how to make apps from scratch, from zero, iOS, for iPhone, for iPad, Android apps, BlackBerry 10, HTML5 for the web, for mobile. And we also have courses on video game development, on mobile games with HTML5 and how to deploy them in iOS, Android, and other platforms. So if you want to check out these courses, just go to our website, zenva.com. All right, so see you in the next lesson.